Yeah, hi people. I would talk about you know manuring today. How much of manure that needs to be put and how these plants are generally planted, and along with that, what are the things that you generally put. So I will talk about that, and here I will show you some small trees because that is the basic level. Actually, as of now, it is I would say the first stage of plantation. So as the tree grows, I will keep on updating videos in parts, so that we will get an exact idea of how this tree has grown, right? So directly, if I show you the big tree, um, we won't get an idea of exact idea of what I'm actually talking about. So once the tree grows, once in every a month or a couple of months, I can show you the progress of the tree. So I will show you that coconut tree, which we have planted. We have taken it from the nursery and we have planted it, and how we have planted, the kind of manure, and the layers that we have formed, and then the things that we have used. So basically, I will show you all that, and once in every 2 months, I will show you the progress of this tree. The coconut tree and the other trees like mango tree, banana trees. So which will give a great detailed information about how these plants are coming up, and whether the techniques that I am talking about, is it working or not. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so talking about the coconut plantation, so you see that we have dug about 4 by 4 feet pit, because actually the base of this tree is huge, and it also becomes larger and larger as it grows. So a 4 by 4 feet needs to be dug, and generally what happens is here, after you dig that pit, so we generally put some ash. Ash can be created at home also, so which is like whatever dry leaves you have, or coconut shells, dry leaves, so you can just burn them and then make an ash out of it. And even in the ash you can put a lot of stuffs, uh, good manuring stuffs, like even sometimes dry cow dungs are also put on that, a little bit of it, and then just spread it over the base, and then you put the plant the trees, because this is actually the tree that we got from nursery. It is actually 1 year old coconut tree. So then you plant the tree, and then over that you put the compost. So basically, the compost you generally get it from the nursery. So the compost is just try to take the 100% organic compost. So organic compost is basically created by using cow dungs or even goat dungs. So goat dungs are also a famous uh, manure when it comes to plantations. So it is actually basically mixed with certain stuffs, and you can get it directly in the nursery. So those compost are put about 1 kg of compost per plant is put, especially for coconut. So that is put, and over that you put some soil, right? And then over that you put some dry leaves. You can see that, right? We have put some dry leaves here. So dry leaves basically cools the plant and its the pit down, because um, then later on when we water the plants, even these leaves will also hold or absorb the water, and it'll keep the plant and its root cool. So this is actually one of the techniques. So we have three layers here, as I said. First is the ash that you put, and over that then you put plant the tree, and then put some compost, and then over that you put the dry leaves. And after putting the dry leaves, you can just put some dry vegetable wastes that you generally get from the kitchen, daily use. I mean, after daily use, we get the dry vegetable wastes. So you can just put it around that, and that also actually nourishes the plants really well, because every vegetable will have certain amount of uh, nourishments, even so that's one part about it. So yeah, so this is how you generally plant a coconut tree. You will see the growth really quickly when you manure it. So after manuring, what happens is, after manuring and putting the leaves, so we constantly water the plant, and once every 45 days you need to put the same manure over the trees. And for about an year or so, for 2 3 years. And once the tree is you know grown up, so it really will not need much of manure, because it will absorb all the minerals and all the nourishments from the ground itself. So yeah, I just basically wanted to show this from a basic level. That is, you can see this plant is really small. It is about overall 1.5 years old, and it is coming up well. So I think probably in another year or so we can see this plant really growing well. So yeah, this is about the coconut plantation. So we generally dig 4 by 4. This is a big pit. So actually these the pits that you dig, it depends on the uh, tree or the plant that you are planting. See, for this sapota, it's basically you have just a 2 by 2 feet pit. And manuring is like, instead of 1 kg, you can just put less than half a kg of manure. And see this again, it's a 4 by 4 pit, right? You can see this. And yes, we have mango here as well, so which is up again, the 2 by 2 pit, right? And smaller plants and would need a smaller pit. And this is actually arachnet. And arachnet is again, it is actually, here you can see it's similar to coconut, but the the pit dimensions are again 2 by 2. And same steps that I explained for coconut, but instead of that, the manuring the amount of manure that you put is about, like, less than half a kg. So it does not need much of manure. And cycle would be the same. Once in 45 days you generally put the manure. Yeah, you can see even for a banana tree, like, we have dug about 2 by 2 of pit. And manuring is the same as arachnet and mango that I explained. So basically, manuring, and even you can put after you put the compost, we can also put cow dungs. And if we can get fresh cow dungs, what you have to generally mix it in water and keep that for about a week or so. And then you can add a little bit of ash to it, and it becomes an excellent manure again. So even that is a good manure. If you don't have a nursery near your home, or you cannot travel to a nursery or stuff like that, you can make a kind of compost at home itself. So but basically, if you are in a city, so you can definitely get these composts, um, ready compost, but organic composts easily from any store, any nursery or any store. And you can try it in your garden. It really works well. And even for smaller trees or smaller flowers, you don't have to dig a really deep pit. You can just manage it by a small pit, one by one uh, pit. And then continue with the same technique that I just said, like put some ash, and over that, like put those compost, and over that just put some dry leaves and keep watering. So this really, it's a really good technique, irrespective of the kind of soil that you have. The plant really gets a lot of nourishment. So uh, and it grows in a real quick time. So that's one of the methods that we are using here. And over these layers, we also put, as I said, like some cow dungs as well, fresh cow dungs, or um, dry coconut coils from the shell, right? And even sometimes the seashells that we get, which are rich in calcium, we can just put those, right? But actually, the amount of manure that you put is really important, and that needs to be taken care of. Because if you over manure it, it might not be good for the plant. And if you manure it less, it might get less nourishment, right? So basically, just be in that uh, you know uh, uh, right frame of uh, uh, you know I would say right amount of manure. So as I said, like for generally bigger trees, like coconut, which grows really tall, so you need some good amount of manure. And for others, right, so it can be half of that. So yeah, so same thing applies for other plants as well. It's all about it's just about, like digging a bigger or a smaller pit. But uh, you know it's it really helps, these manure. So it's so basically, whatever care, how much care, the more care we take, the plant gets more nourishment, and it really responds very well to our as per our wish. So that was about how we manure, right? Yeah. So this is the compost that we are using now. As of now, it's called biocompost. So this you can get it from the nursery. So you see, this is how it looks actually. Wait, I think this is dark here. Let me just yeah, right. So it is actually made from a lot of different stuffs, like goat dung and some of the seeds, right? So if you can I think it's pretty dark, so let me just show it to you again, right? right here. You can see that, right? Yes. So this compost, you can get it from any nursery, as I have spoke about it before. And the amount of compost which I have detailed in the previous video, so would be necessary for certain plants, and you will also get an idea of how much to use. And also, see, you can get these ash as well from the nursery. So basically, yeah, so you can get this ash, but let me tell you, like, the ash that we prepare at home is really uh, good, and gives great results. So this is the lemon plant, and we have got dug about 2 by 2 feet here as well, right? This is arachnet. So basically, you see that the ash that I was talking about. So ash can be actually obtained from any of the nursery, and it can uh, it can be handy, like, if you have a small garden, you can use that ash. And if you don't if you want to make the ash at home, so basically what you need is, like, some dry leaves. So just you need to fire uh, uh, those dry leaves, and I mean, you need to burn them, and over that just put some dry cow dungs, and you know dry leaves, dry cow dungs, and over that just put a little bit of soil. So you will get a great really good ash. So you see here, we had made some ash here, right? So so actually, ash really helps uh, in the growth of the plant, and it also gives a good uh, you know nourishment to the plant. And the other thing, I just want to add about this coconut plantation uh, uh, talk, is that we also put some after putting all the layers that I talked about, right? The the ash, the compost that I just showed you, and over that leaves and cow dungs, and whatever you put, and over that you after about an year or so, right, you just need to put some salt around this tree. And you can also put uh, neem the neem oil waste, that these are called as neem cakes. So that you can get it again from any store, or generally the store that sells these stuffs, the nursery. So it is these are called as neem cakes. So whatever waste that is obtained from the by manufacturing neem oil, right? So these cakes are made by that, and you can put those neem cakes around the tree. So this what will happen is, you will avoid the use of insecticides or pesticides, that is which is generally chemical, right? So these those things can be avoided, I mean, those chemical stuffs. So this actually that helps in keeping the tree healthy. And generally you won't see any kind of sort of insects preying on the trees. So for all the trees, or the plants, even small plants also, you can use a little bit of neem cakes, and salt also, a little bit. But for coconut tree, the amount of salt required is more. It's about, like, a kg, 1 kg or so. But for other trees, you can just have about 100 to 200 grams, just spread it over. And also, as I said, the neem cakes. which are actually available. It's not that they are not at all available or anything. Or you can also put some neem leaves, right? Neem leaves over the base of the plant, which would also help. But neem cakes would help to a great extent, because it will also help in building the immunity for the plant, and will restrain the insects, or the pests to from the plant. So which will make the plant as well as the harvest healthy, right? So just wanted to touch upon that as well. Thanks.